All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2016 Ford Expedition. Up front is a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to CarMarshal.com/overdrive. But let's get back to that 3.5-liter twin-turbo. Well, it is an EcoBoost motor, and this is the family of engines from Ford that are turbocharged. It's what they've been putting in the F-150 EcoBoost, the list goes on and on. It's a pretty worked through engine. They make them in a couple different displacements. This is a 3.5-liter V6. And I really, really like the engines. What I really like about them is that just cruising, they're so, quite frankly, mundane. They're just normal, slow, chill engines. But then when you get on it, when you want power, when you need to pass someone, the power is instantly there and it totally changes characteristics. But one thing to mention about the engine is that it has been tweaked. It has been tuned by 5-star tuning. And so on 93 octane, this is not a slow SUV. Ethan has actually taken it to the drag strip, which thank you, Ethan, so much for letting me do this review. This thing's awesome. He did take it to the drag strip, and so I will show that video here because I don't think I will be able to do this Expedition much justice with my driving. But with Ethan driving, it's awesome. So go give that a look.
Right for the Raptor.
All right, so Ethan told me if I would like to launch it, put it into 4-wheel drive, brake boost up to about 3. Oh my God! Oh, I ran out of parking lot, but oh, that is fun. That is fun. It's really impressive to me that a twin-turbo V6 in a vehicle this large, I mean, really, think about it. This is an apartment. I mean, it really feels like an apartment. My brother recently moved up to Wisconsin, and he just got an apartment up near Madison, and I genuinely feel like this vehicle has about the same amount of space as his apartment does. I mean, that's just how big this is. But getting back to it, there's a V6 under the hood, a 3.5-liter. I mean, that's a Nissan 350Z motor if you really want to think about it that way. And it's pulling this huge thing. Yes, it has 2 turbos, but a V6 and some spoolie boys gets this thing moving. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Nothing really too crazy, nothing really to complain about either. It shifts normally. It's a good, solid automatic transmission, and I really can't ask much more from it. And last but not least, the Expedition is 4-wheel drive, which it has selectable 4-wheel drive, which we will talk about a little bit later when we get to the interior. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have one physical gauge. That is the speedometer right there in the center. On the left, I have a digital tachometer, as well as my fuel. And on the right, I have a compass, and these screens are configurable. So I can have navigation, phone, or entertainment on the right. And on the left, I can switch to a bunch of different things. There's going to be whole settings menus over here. This is where you're really going to configure what you want to configure, and that's really, really nice. On the steering wheel, I have controls to control that left and right screen. I have cruise control on the left, and then my phone and volume options on the right. The steering wheel is really nice. It's leather wrapped, it's perforated leather, and I really, really like that. I think it's really classy, and I think the rest of this interior is pretty classy too, and I'll get to that once we talk about the seats. To the left, I just have my headlight switches, and then on the door, I have my window switches and my power mirror options. Then we get to the center. We do have a giant center display. It is touchscreen. What I really like about the display is just how clear it is. It's really clear and it's super easy to use. The brand new Ford Ranger actually has the same sort of layout, especially when it comes to the climate controls. I love Ford's climate controls on the screen because they're nice, big, easy to use, easy to see, and I think that's absolutely awesome. I love being able to step into a car and easily be able to change anything I want without having to read a manual or go through tons and tons of different pages or know different words and lingo. None of that. You just hit climate and you adjust it how you want it, and that is it. And I absolutely love that. Down below the screen, we have options for the media. So we have 6 different presets, forward, back, media, stuff like that, volume, of course. Then down below that, we have our climate controls, which I do have heated and cooled seats. I am pleasantly enjoying my cooled seat right now. Then off to the left of all of that, we have the tailgate button, hill descent control, and traction control off. So the tailgate button will obviously open up the tailgate, power tailgate. Hill descent control is basically cruise control for going down steep inclines or off-road. And then traction control off, obviously will turn traction control off. Then I have my trailer settings. I can adjust the sensitivity for my trailer. And then I have the 4-wheel drive options, which I have 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive auto, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. I really, really like that. Getting down onto the center console, it's pretty bland. I do have the shifter. The shifter's a pretty basic shifter out from every other Ford ever in the history of the world. It's nothing really important, but you can shift it plus minus on the side if you'd like to do that, which is a nice feature for driving with a trailer or if you're going to drive, down a steep incline or something like that. Then I have a giant center console. Now, let's talk about the seats. The seats are this brownish, reddish, I don't even know quite what the color is. I think they look absolutely awesome. I think they're different. They are the platinum seats. They're comfortable. Like I said, heated, cooled, memory, and power. I mean, these are great, great seats. And I just love the differentness of it. Differentness? I guess we're going to use that word today. The differentness of the seats, you don't see it all the time. Trucks usually have black leather seats or black cloth seats, or maybe you'll get a gray interior. You don't ever really see brownish maroon interiors anymore. And so I'm happy that you could still get these in 2016. You could still spec something with this cool color of an interior. With that being said, these seats are really comfortable. Of course they are. They're platinum seats from Ford. But speaking of seats, we do have 3 rows, so we will do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2016 Ford Expedition, and down below I have a 12-volt charger, my media, volume, stuff like that. I can actually change the volume up front from back here. I really like that. And then, of course, I have my heating and air conditioning controls. I do have heated seats back here. I get 2 different settings for heated seats, and I like that there's an aisle. I really like the fact that this feels more like, it almost feels like a private jet more than it feels like, an SUV, because there is this sort of center aisle. I'm almost half expecting someone to come through with drinks halfway through the ride. But I really like that, and it doesn't make me feel claustrophobic, and I like that a lot. The brown interior follows through back here, which I really, really like. And of course, we do have back seats even further back, so let's hop back there. All right, now we are in the way back of the Expedition, the 3-row. There are 3 seat belts here, so you can seat 3. So 3, 2 makes 5, driver and passenger makes 7. Interestingly enough, the driver's side gets 2 cup holders. The passenger side only gets 1. I guess that is so the 3rd seat shares over there. I don't know why they chose the left. I feel like most people are right-handed and it would make more sense, but whatever. I do have vents in the ceiling like you get on an airplane. Again, this kind of feels like a private jet a little bit. You get these nice air vents up top so your back seat doesn't get roasted on hot days because the AC can't reach them. No, the AC's right here, perfectly fine. And headroom is actually really, really good back here. I'm even sitting in the center seat, which like bubbles up higher. It's so good. I could fit a fist between my head and the ceiling, and I'm 5'11", so take that as you will. Really, really awesome back seats. I love the Expedition's back seats. I think they make me feel special, and I can't get over this leather. I love this brown leather. I really, really love it. And to finish out the interior, 2 things. First of all, I do have a sunroof, which is nice and big. I really like this sunroof. Absolutely awesome. Adds great light. And overall, the interior is pretty nice. I have wood trim on the doors. I have this nice brown interior. Everything is really, really nice in here, and I really, really like it. It is a very comfortable SUV, and I'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the video. But let's talk about the looks. I love the look of it. I love the color. I think it's a really great color. And before we get too far from it, this Expedition is somewhat lifted. The front is just on blocks. It's technically a lift kit. The rear is stock, but the front is on just a block you put onto the suspension, adds a little bit of lift, but it's not that much higher than stock. I think Ethan has done a great job. I think this truck looks super, super clean. I love the look of it. I love the color. I like the chrome wheels. I think chrome wheels are really making a comeback. And I have to say it looks great. And, of course, the license plates, which he just got in the other day on the gas, it's great. I absolutely love it. By far, one of my favorite features has to be the running boards that actually drop down when you open up the door. I think that's absolutely awesome that they hide away. I think it looks sleek. I think it looks good. And it's by far one of my favorite features. So let's talk about the Expedition as a whole. Well, the interesting thing about this is that literally 24 hours ago, in real time, I was driving a newer Lincoln Navigator, which, as we know, is based off the same chassis. And yes, it was redesigned. It's technically a different chassis between 2018 and 2016 like this. But I really expected to drive the Expedition and think, wow, this is the poor man's Lincoln Navigator. And to be honest, it's really not. I like it in here. It's very plush. It's comfortable. It's nice. I really, really like it. This is something I could definitely get used to. It's so easy to drive. The steering is nice and light. It's not as light as the Navigator, but it is still nice and light. I don't really feel like I'm as big as I am. I mean, I do still feel like I'm a large car, but not nearly to the point of other vehicles that I've driven. This still feels really tame in terms of size. And I really, really like that. This isn't really a daunting task. I really, really like the Expedition. And sure, you might want to call it a budget Navigator, but it's still so good. Well, I want to thank Ethan so much for letting me do this review. This thing is really, really cool. I'm really glad I got to drive it, and it definitely gives me perspective between the Navigator and the Expedition. So if you guys, I'm breaking this dude's neck right now. Oh my God, this kid just looked over and he was mesmerized by the wheels on this thing. Oh man, it really does give me perspective on the Navigator versus Expedition, sort of, not feud, but it does give me perspective on the differences between the two. And so I really, really appreciate that. I will leave a link to my Navigator review at the end of the video if you guys would like to go check that out. It is a 2018. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.